Welcome to American Forked. Keep your minds and mouths inside the cart at all times.
I will.
Oh my gosh.
Sedimentados, por favor.
Thank you. That's what I was going for. You'll see why later. So this is American Fork Podcast. A bunch of dudes get together and talk about all things stuff. We got some local and statewide and national news that we discuss, and then we go off the rails.
We discuss stuff.
Yeah.
Is that the
Off the
category
rails.
we're under is stuff discussion?
All
is
things-
that
all things
stuff? Is that
Yeah.
I
where
think that's the official iTunes tag.
category?
Stuff discussion.
Stuff discussion.
Yeah, that's why we're so not niched down.
Yeah.
That's why nobody listens. They're
Yeah,
like,
except
"What
your
do-
mom.
Your mom's still listening.
Yep.
I want to hear a podcast about stuff. I'm going to listen to American Forked. So before we dive in, I want to talk about our housekeeping items.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, we have American Forked Podcast as our website. You can listen to the show there. If you're listening, great. If not, then it doesn't matter because you're listening.
Yeah, and if you don't know what to do, you can also do like Audible,
Audible is another podcast
Spotify.
catcher
Spotify,
that we are on. Spotify,
Pocket Pod.
SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts,
The
Google Podcasts.
Pocket Cast, which is like the Western Family
Pod,
version.
pod meter.
Western.
The Western family.
That's the off-brand of pod catchers. No offense.
Great, now they're gonna drop
Podcast
us.
Addict. We're on all the major ones. And obviously we have a Patreon at patreon.com/AmericanForked. There you can donate some funds to help us kind of make the podcast happen.
My dollar charge went in this week.
Did it?
Yeah. I got my email saying, thank you for your contribution.
And you were like, shoot, I forgot to cancel it before the charge.
We've only had one cancel.
And now you're just gonna forget for a little while.
that's probably
so-
true.
We'll get a solid $7 out of you.
Yeah.
We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at American Forked. Our voicemail line is 385,
Dad O mug.
not an O, but a 0. But yes,
Dad Zero mug.
you can call or text that number, and we'll get it. We may even play your voicemail online.
Oh yeah.
And
And also, I just want to add to that, like if you listener have a topic or something you want us to talk about, or if we said something that totally offended you or you thought was totally wrong, just tell us and we'll talk about it on the air. It'll be a good time.
You can text us and say we were wrong.
Yeah, you can say, you dumb idiots.
Yeah, call Dad Zero mug and say the F word, which is like, you're flipping wrong. That's what I mean.
fetch,
Yeah.
you fetch head.
I actually did have a phone call because that's where we're at. Like I said, I think most of our listeners are in my phone book. But anyways, someone called me and we discussed the show a little bit, and I didn't realize she was still listening. So shout out to Lauren. She is not even in this state.
Oh, what's up, Lauren?
You guys would be blown away
Lauren,
by that.
is she in Idaho?
Nope.
I think she's
You guys could-
spreading this podcast all over Tennessee.
It would take you guys 49 to 50 times
Connecticut.
to guess which one it is. But
New Jersey.
It's funny you said Tennessee because she did live there for a while.
Oh, wow.
I think.
Florida.
Do you
Georgia.
know? Wait? So you know this person personally?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
But the funny thing is, like, I've told a lot of people, like, hey, listen, it's
Yeah.
fun. And then
Indiana.
some people, okay, stop, Phil. It was
Maine.
It was Idaho. Just kidding. Not
Southern Idaho.
Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana.
But she said she listens to every episode, and I didn't realize it. I knew she listened to a handful of them at the beginning, or one or two or something, and then she called me and talked to me, and said she might even be interested in being a guest if you guys wanted. So
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
bring
fun
her on
stuff.
down.
If
Love it.
anyone has a guest idea, then let us know.
Oh, yeah, if you'd like to be on our podcast as a guest, just let us know.
Chances are, if you're listening, you're probably an expert at something,
yeah,
and we want to exploit that.
that's
Oh,
right.
Yeah, it's true.
That's right.
So,
See?
and so I want to start with some local news. It actually literally looked like every time else. There's nothing going on in American Fork.
But Jakey Poo,
Yes, Jeff.
No one has any idea who's talking.
Oh yeah.
I want to
Introduce
introduce.
us.
I want to introduce everybody that's here.
Jake's going to introduce us.
My name's Jake.
Hi, Jake.
This is Jeff,
Hi, Jeff. Oh, that's me.
and then there's Phil.
Here I am. Phil.
Phil's wearing the green shirt,
Yeah. So if you, so the listener knows, he's the one in green.
Yeah.
and Tyler.
Hey,
Tyler's becoming a pretty regular guest.
I am a special guest star.
I appreciate you
He
being here.
is special.
Yeah.
I'd
Let's
argue
be
he's
honest.
still irregular, but he is frequent.
Irregular. I'll take it.
He's becoming more regular.
Yes.
Irregular guest star. Got
Vibrant
it.
will do that.
I like it.
Thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. We love it.
We all love you so much.
Hey, listen, though. I know
Okay.
an American forked thing. Remember last week when we were like, oh, this guy's lost in the
Yeah.
woods?
Oh, yeah.
He's dead.
That's the only AF thing going.
Wait,
on.
Oh,
he's
he died.
dead?
He died.
yeah,
right?
they found it. Well, I think last I looked, they were like, we found the body that we think is him.
Ooh.
So I feel bad
Ow.
now about even like talking about
Yeah,
it.
you guys are really
It was-
irreverent.
Yeah.
It was up by
Jokes.
Tibble
We're
Fork.
like, that idiot
Tibble Fork
running away
Reservoir.
from his wife. He's just...
Well,
that-
Trent was on that episode, so of course there was offensive stuff.
Yeah,
being
I'm
said.
blaming it on Trent. Whatever I said was because of Trent's essence.
But yeah, they found a body in American Fork Canyon by Tibble Fork Reservoir, and they think it was his.
Yeah, it was up that river, just up the
So
way.
they haven't identified him yet or anything.
Well, last I looked, I'm sure they have by now. But they
The-
were like, we found the body that we think is him, which probably usually means like we haven't found, like the family and the body haven't come together and said, yes, that's him yet.
Yeah,
but
but what I think when I hear that is things more like, oh, we found him in a pile of bodies, and we're not sure. One of
We're
them's
not sure which
one of them's
body
got to be his. I'm sure it is.
we found
We're
a
just
body.
assuming. I mean, how many bodies are they coming across or looking for? up
my
there?
understanding, because I've been listening to a lot of
There've been
murder
a lot
podcasts.
Yeah.
is like someone has to identify the body before they can officially announce who the person is.
Yeah, that's what I
get
mean.
it.
Like they can be like this 5'4" man with a handlebar mustache and I love Mike tattooed on his forehead is missing, and they can find him, but they still have to like find a
Yeah.
relative or
There was a
somebody to be
story
like,
I was listening to about
Mike.
a grandson was like on a drug spree or something and like bludgeoned his grandparents in their bed, but they couldn't identify them as the grandparents until they pulled their dental records.
Yeah.
So that's why I know that
They
random
were
stuff.
so unidentifiable.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
Isn't it amazing? I know this isn't your topic, and you're probably trying to take control of
ahead.
this podcast, but it's losing it really quick.
It's all right. I need to take a bite of this sushi. So go ahead.
Isn't it amazing that like what you just said, like kid bludgeoned his grandparents in their bedroom, blah blah. It's like the worst thing ever. But somehow in this world, that is the number one genre of podcasts. And
Yeah.
and I actually am a participant of the audio listening action on that
On the
consumer
murder,
genre.
the
Oh,
murder.
consumer is the word.
The listener, subscriber,
But like
fan.
it is so terrible yet so mainstream right now. I don't know. I just find it very fascinating.
I think it's.
actually.
People love them.
I personally think it's because it's the shock value of like the idea of someone who could actually do these things. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going to different murders, but that's crazy. I understand what you're saying.
Why do you listen to them?
Just because they're entertaining,
Right.
Is that so
Well, like-
wrong to say?
Like one of the ways that I do it is like it's like the same thing with somebody that is like fully engrossed in Pokemon cards. Like I don't get it, but I want to get it. I want to understand what they're going through and what they're thinking when a hologram Charizard makes them flip their shit, basically. Like I want to figure out why this person has a desire to murder people. I mean, there's people I'm sure you've heard of that like will fly around the whole United States and bury murder kits so that if they travel into that area, and there's two guys. Anyway, this is a dark podcast,
Yeah.
Jake. Why did you bring all this up?
This went south quick.
Yeah, before Jake, we
Wow.
usually always interrupt Jake and his plans, but before he even opened his mouth this time, I was just like, I know what to do.
No, listen, Jake. We're gonna talk about murders, okay? All right,
'Kay.
You just sit right
No,
there.
When you guys are done talking about the dark stuff, I got something lighter. to
I
talk
have a
about.
quick comment on that, though.
Okay.
I think I get it. So I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but whenever we go stay in a hotel and we're like watching actual TV, we always go to like Dateline or whatever to watch those like
Inside
murder
Edition.
mysteries. I think for me, what it really is that fascinates me is I'm like, could I be that person, or do I know somebody who's that person? And what signs do I need to watch out for? You know, like this person murdered their wife and kids and like half like their parents and half the block.
But you're going through a checklist in your mind.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, I got that.
How did they get there? Like what? And what do I need to watch out for?
Oh yeah. Anytime there's some of the murder stories, I'm just like, that could have been Phil.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, that could have been Trent.
Well, that's funny. And then you're going through the checklist going, oh, well, I guess it couldn't be Jake. But it could be
Me.
Wait a minute.
I'm a murderer.
Yeah.
Because I do those things. It's not because never mind.
All right.
All right, Jake.
We're good. Jake,
we're
what's up?
done.
Thanks, guys,
Go ahead.
Back
for
to
the American Fork news.
Yeah.
Take control. Come on.
So my news was the local news was actually in Provo. So there is a chicken finger franchise called
Canes.
Raising Canes.
Yeah.
They just opened a store in Provo, just down the street from here, on Boulevard or Bulldog.
Which is now something.
Is
Is it changed?
CANES?
Yeah.
Canes?
Raising
Canes, yeah.
Canes.
Bulldog is now Cougar Road, Cougar Drive, or something.
Oh, I didn't know they changed it.
Well, I think they moved the high school. Or
It's over by the hospital.
Anyway,
1 block east of Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Provo City Sheriff's Department or Police Department tweeted out a warning that there's probably going to be to look out for extra traffic because of the opening of Raising Canes. And because I guess when they opened a store in like South Jordan or whatever, they had like super backed up traffic and they had like over 100 cars in the drive-through. I don't know how the opening day went, but
I don't know either.
I'm going to be a fan. I think I'm kind of a fried chicken connoisseur myself. So
Is it like any better than KFC? Or
It's pretty good. I think the nearest one was Vegas for a while. They have one in Vegas, and that anytime when I was playing volleyball in college, anytime we ever went down to a Vegas tournament, we had to eat there. Oh, so
what's the other one that's like it? Is it Popeyes?
Popeyes.
Yeah, I ate it at
Popeyes is good.
Popeyes, and I was like, eh.
Popeyes isn't my
I
favorite.
still feel like KFC is
right
the
now,
king.
Super Chicks is my favorite.
Super Chicks.
Super Chicks,
Is that the
yeah.
one in AF?
The one in AF that
Yeah,
we
with
went
they got a killer buffalo.
Yeah,
Chicken.
Their spicy chicken sandwiches are good, and they're big old breasts.
They are big.
I
old
love myself
breasts.
some chicken. So they're opening one right by my house. It's under construction right now.
Oh,
Raising
I didn't know
Cane's?
what it
Really?
was. Yeah.
There's another clue you dropped out where that serial killer is gonna find us. Oh yeah, triangulated. Raising Cane's.
Oh yes, I knew Jeff was there. That's all I needed.
That's right.
Where Raising Cane's is
Yeah.
going.
I live right next door to the new one.
Oh,
That's
where he's
to
at.
throw them off.
they have really good
Yeah.
mashed potatoes.
do they?
Yeah,
Are they real mashed potatoes?
I believe so. I
They're
think
not
that's why they're
instant
really good.
potatoes. Can you tell the difference?
I can, yeah.
Oh, okay, like an immediate disgust when you eat an instant potato.
No, he's
I
on the other.
I still eat it, but I can tell the difference.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Well, cool, Provo.
I think that we should start a
Provo's
business
great.
model that goes off these because they're super successful restaurants. Like Chick-fil-A is one of them. Apparently, Raising
In-N-Out?
Cane's, In-N-Out, where they have these insane long lines. And we need to open restaurants right next to all those so that it's called like the lines shorter here food place.
Let's open up a burger place called Out and
Out
In.
and in.
Yeah.
Out and in.
And then next to that, we could have like instead of Chick-fil-A, it could be like Chick-fil-A. And
Cane's Raising.
Yeah. Instead of Cane, we could be
Chicken
like
B.
Chicken Able.
Chicken Able.
Cane
We're
and
so
Able.
creative.
Anyways, my point is like because people go to these places and they're so full, they could just go to the place next to it.
Yeah.
And I've actually done that more than once.
Oh, go to the place next to
Yeah,
it.
you pull up to the In-N-Out and you're like, no, I'm out. In? Nope. Out.
Yeah.
Yes. And I go to Zaxby's, which is their business model, I think.
Zaxby's good.
Is like being next to the thing
Being
that's
next
full.
to the busy thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I
I've never
can categorize it as okay.
because I drive by it every time I go to Target, and I think I should get something.
It's
but then I
really,
don't.
Yeah,
really,
turn the other way. Go to Super Chicks. It's behind Target.
Okay.
it's really good when you're starving and In-N-Out's too long, basically.
Yeah, I
But-
never got the appeal of In-N-Out. Like it's all right. but to wait in a line.
Do you get
like,
your burgers animal style?
I think Five Guys
I
is better,
have.
personally.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Five Guys is amazing.
I honestly put In-N-Out on par with McDonald's.
Wow.
That's
That's
steep.
low.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stop talking about that.
First time I went to Five Guys, I ordered a French fry for everyone because, and the person behind
An
it,
individual fry for every
yeah, I'm like,
a
and,
separate fry.
So that's 4 burgers,
Serving?
and I need 4 orders of fries. And the guy didn't even say anything to me. He's just like, okay. And I came. I went
didn't
home
warn
with,
you?
I went home with like 6 sacks of potatoes.
He didn't give you a warning.
No,
like,
he didn't.
Oh,
so
the
you-
fries are really big.
Oh, dude,
No, they give you a ton.
one order
yeah.
is designed to feed like 4 people. I think.
Oh, really?
Or like 2 to 4 people, depending on whatever. But so
They put it in like a equivalent of like a red Solo cup,
Oh, yeah.
and then they drop it into a plastic bag, and then they pour more onto it, and then
Yeah.
you're just
and then
stuck.
so you got a bag full of fries, and then they like set the burger on top, and
it's not
full.
a joke. And we did that.
Where
to
is this?
Five Guys?
Five Guys? Yeah. Yeah, I've been there before, but maybe I've never ordered
I like the options at Five Guys. You can have like 30 different toppings, and it's
Yeah.
the same price.
Yeah.
I like doing the same thing that I do to Chipotle. I'm like, I'll have everything, and then see if they can make it.
They try to roll it.
It's like, why is my hamburger tipping over?
They're like, this son of a bitch.
William, bring the extra large tortillas.
You know what I miss is Fuddruckers,
excuse me.
Oh,
where you could
yeah.
like
this is a
build your
family
own thing.
This is a family.
Fuddruckers was way good. I don't know
Jacob.
why it went
Did you
down.
guys ever do the
dare you?
challenge, the Fuddruckers challenge?
like the
Tyler.
2 5-pound burger or whatever?
Yeah.
I can't remember how big it is.
They had one of those that's pretty famous, I guess, like right next to our apartment in Boston. And it was like a, I don't know,
yeah.
20 patty, like 6 pound, whatever.
I actually did it. So it
Did
was
you? Did it?
Yeah, we at
At Fuddruckers?
It was like years ago. Well, obviously years ago. But the company I was working for at the time took us all out there, and like they chose 5 of us to do it and paid for it.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
man.
You each did the.
yeah, against
your
each other,
own
like a
burgers.
department
That's
challenge.
Yeah.
I didn't win because it was so much food.
Yeah, as you guys will remember, I used to binge eat, like if we went out to a buffet or something. But I
Yeah.
swore it off after me and my companion did that in the MTC, because the MTC is like
Buffet style.
buffet all day long. And he ate so much and like walked right over to the garbage can and ralphed like right there in the middle of the thing. And I was like, this is pathetic. I don't need to eat until I throw up or make myself throw up.
Wow.
So, yeah, Utah Valley's like the fast food capital of the world, pretty much.
Really?
If it's a good fast food restaurant, it will thrive in Utah Valley.
American Fork specifically, I
Yeah.
feel like is like super dense.
What
with
was that
fast food?
Italian fast food place?
Fazoli's.
Fazoli's.
The breadsticks.
The breadsticks.
Free
You remember-
breadsticks.
You remember they have free breadsticks, but the catch was you had to order something on the menu. So what we would do is go up and order a side of Alfredo sauce, and then we just dip the breadsticks in it. And we always called the person our breadstick bitch.
They would just walk around with a basket of breadsticks and hand them to people in the line and stuff.
Yeah.
COVID
It was good
sticks.
I do remember doing that. And then I was like, I don't like these breadsticks. Why am I here stuffing myself
Yeah.
just because they're free?
They
Pretty
had to
much,
pass
that was
the
it.
Fazoli's
Oh.
droop test.
Yeah.
You
American
hold
Fork
the breadstick
specific.
horizontal, and if it droops, then it's.
I always thought
pass.
Parker's was pretty good.
Yeah.
Before
Parker's
they-
Drive-In?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss Parker's
Before
Drive-In.
JCW's crushed it like a behemoth.
And then they
With their
well, I think they were
all-female
just
staff.
Yeah.
I think they were just they retired the owners.
Yeah, I think that
the
is
original
true.
Owners now they've got a
Starbucks.
Starbucks there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting. You know, there's a place just like that in Provo called Tommy's, and I highly recommend it. It's like an
Try it
order
out.
outside type place, but they put chili on all their
Shakes.
burgers unless you request it off. And I guess they say it's carrot chili. So instead of tomatoes as the base, it's carrots. It's really good. They got a really good pastrami
Provo?
burger. Yeah. It's right off of just east of 100 North, and I would say like, I don't know, 200 West. Tommy's Burgers.
Oh, yeah.
Little Shack.
I've had that before.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah,
but
I
that
like
was
'em.
years ago. Yeah. Anyways,
Cool.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear some statewide news?
Yeah. Let's do it.
So the Utah Highway Patrol is sending out a notice to the state of Utah requesting that they help support the Fill the Hive support school. The Fill the Hive school supply drive. So they're raising. They're basically doing a drive to get school equipment or school supplies for needy families. So
like backpacks, pencils.
anything for back to school. So if anyone is in Utah and has some extra cash, buy some extra back to school supplies and drop them off at any Utah Highway Patrol office.
I must be poor because my kids are registered for school this week, and 2 of my kids got basically everything given to them. I was like, I don't remember this when I was in school.
By who?
By the school.
Oh,
School's
really?
like, oh, go pick out a backpack. And they're all full of like pens and pencils and highlighters and notebooks and I don't know.
All the things.
There's a switchblade in one of them because we're in the ghetto.
Over by Raising Cane.
By Raising Cane's.
Some pepper spray.
Yeah, it was pepper spray. No, but they really got pretty much everything. And I was like, oh, good thing you guys just went to Target and got brand new backpacks and everything because, well, now they have 2. But anyways, that's really cool. I think it's nice.
Yeah.
Well, now you can donate the ones you did.
Yeah, that's
There you
true.
go.
We should donate them.
Any Utah Highway Patrol office will accept them.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to do that now that they've left me alone for like 4 years now.
Highway Patrol?
Yeah.
Were they trying to recruit you?
No, they were trying to arrest me every day.
For what?
Is this like a real story?
No, not arrest me. What's the thing they do? Ticket? Give you a ticket?
Pull you over?
Pull you over? That's it.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
They've been trying to pull you over.
They
haven't
did pull
succeeded.
me over a lot, and then suddenly it just like I feel like they've eased up on I-15. Like it's not.
I got
there
pulled
aren't
over.
people over
I
all
got
the time.
pulled over twice on I-15 within like 3 weeks for my front windows tinted.
In the last couple of years.
last year. Yeah.
Last year, yeah. Well, see, they've eased up on me, and they're going after you.
Thanks.
So I'll donate some stuff, and you can be angry and bitter.
I just recently renewed my car insurance policy, and I just had a ticket drop off that was from the Highway Patrol in Orem for going like 80 and a 70 or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
the same speed everyone drives on I-15.
Yeah,
every day.
exactly.
You were just keeping up with traffic.
well, I had to get to the balloon festival. It was on the 4th of July, like 4 years ago, and I was running late.
Oh,
so
it's on
I
the
went.
4th.
I was going fast.
Yeah,
And anyways, so those gifts that they give you stick with you for 3 to 5 years.
yeah.
You get to think about it. Oh yeah, I remember when I got pulled over on the 4th of July. That was awesome.
I wonder why they do that. Holidays, they're like out in force to
Because
give
a lot
tickets.
of people party.
A lot of
They wanna
people
catch-
drink a lot.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Because I swear, like even in the middle of the day, they're like lined up on the side of the road.
Oh, but see, you could take that term. There's people lined up drinking alcohol, and there's also people lined up giving tickets.
Oh, maybe that's it.
But you're just not seeing the alcohol part because
I guess not.
you're not.
I think it's in full force. So when I like go home on weekends, especially here to Blanding, on any holiday weekend, there's a ton of cops.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just patrolling around. So
Yeah.
cool. What else we got?
So New York's in the news, as it always is. New York City, specifically, Mayor de Blasio has implemented a vaccine mandate for restaurants and entertainment and like gyms, anything that's indoors. You're going to have to, starting in September, people who want to participate in those businesses are going to have to prove that they were vaccinated from COVID.
Have to show their vaccine card.
Yeah, we've got our first city implementing the vaccine passport.
You know what I thought was so hilarious about this story? As I saw it on my phone, and like an hour later, it was like Mayor de Blasio, or not, is it de Blasio? Not de Blasio.
Yeah, he's the
The
mayor of
governor.
New York. Governor
Governor Cuomo. It was like,
Governor Touchy Feely.
yeah, Governor Cuomo has 11 people or whatever, like going after him. I thought it was really interesting that those were released like back
Right.
to back.
Yeah.
Like one to distract from the other, maybe, or I don't know.
Well, I think this is an open invitation, is what we're trying to say. If you live in New York and you're sick and tired of that bullshit yet, you're welcome to move to American Fork. We've got the backfields. You could just pitch a tent there for now until you find a place to buy.
We got plenty of
There's no fields
we
anymore.
got plenty of hermits living in the canyon.
Yeah, you can rent out a tent space for 11 days straight. So just move here.
No, I've said this before. Whenever I go to those cities, I'm like, what is wrong with everyone here? You're idiots
For living
Like-
here still.
It's so much money.
It's like, I get it. There's
For
a
nothing.
there's a bagel place down the street. Like,
I'm like, for the price you pay for this closet with rats in it, you could have like 17 acres with like a 6,000 square foot home. And
well, the joke
somewhere else.
is that all those people are working from their rat-filled closet,
Yeah.
known as home. They're all working from home anyways. So it's
Yeah.
like they're not in the entertainment industry because all that's closed down. Anyway, just move out here. Actually, just move to Nevada or Wyoming. They have lots of land there.
Just get vaccinated.
Yeah, just get vaccinated.
yeah, this will be like a good
Petri dish.
petri dish though, to see like, are people going to accept that's life now? We have to present our personal medical information to go to a restaurant.
Is this going to be a temporary thing, or is it just kind of is that the start of the normal?
Yeah, is that going to spread? Like, when are people going to push back?
Well, everything starts in California and in New York.
Yeah,
But certain things don't spread, which is interesting. So, but if you
COVID
notice,
does.
That's true.
I'm vaccinated. I don't really care. So
Yeah.
I don't live in New York, so it's fine. And even if I didn't, I can go to a
you can
restaurant.
go to the gym,
Yeah,
work out.
and you guys can't.
That's right.
We can't.
We would just find the place that's like, we only accept unvaccinated people.
That's so there's a restaurant in Blanding called it's on the highway. Fuck, what is it called?
Highwayrestaurant.org.
Anyways,
Highway
they,
Blanding.
They put a sign in the window that says, "If you come in wearing a mask, we're not going to serve you."
It's like the Idaho place
I
that
was
Jeff
in
went to.
I was in Lava Hot Springs, Idaho.
Yeah.
And there's a restaurant there. In fact, we went and ate there after that trip.
Yeah.
But it said masks are strictly prohibited. If you don't feel comfortable with this, please take your food to go. I was like, wow. And then there's somebody in the news. I mean, I don't remember what state or where this was, but there's someone in the news that has a sign out front that says, "You must show proof of not getting the vaccine to enter this establishment."
So come in and cough.
Yeah, I don't know what you do.
Yeah, you'd come in and cough on a positive COVID test right in front of them.
You just lick the handlebar, lick the bar.
Yeah, it's interesting how invasive they can be and still be acceptable. Like medical history of like preventing a vaccine, proof of vaccine is one thing, but how much farther can it go?
Yeah, when I went to school in Boston, they required vaccines that I'd already had, but I had to show proof of them, which I couldn't find. And I like went through all this song and dance, arguing with them and stuff. And then there was this little box at the bottom that said religious exemption. And I was like, oh,
Check.
all right.
Yeah,
So I checked that and went to school. So,
I think you can do that on your speeding tickets too, right?
Yeah.
Sign here. Oh wait, what's this box down here?
that's why they quit
Religious
bothering me.
exemption.
That's hilarious.
The speeding laws don't apply to me.
Check.
Yeah, but apparently they're like, I think,
Sounds like we're getting treated like dogs because you can't take a dog into like a daycare unless you prove they're vaccinated.
Yeah.
have the vaccine.
Exactly.
So,
Or neutered or spayed
Yeah.
or whatever.
so we're dogs.
and that's what's so fascinating is the majority of the public doesn't have COVID. We, at least from like random testing or whatever that they do, that's the theory. The people that do have it, the majority of them have little to no symptoms, which means they're unlikely to spread it. And so most people aren't, like, they're assuming everyone is this spreading diseased dog when really the opposite is true. Very likely your average person out there doesn't have COVID. One does, and he's probably going to he or she is going to spread it to some people, but is that worth, like, you know, digging into people's privacy and taking away people's freedom?
Okay, Dr. Phil.
No, for some it may be.
Yeah,
I guess
don't
it just really depends on your value system, like what you value.
Yeah.
If you value living in New York and that's something you want to do, then sure, go get a vaccine.
Yeah.
Like all the Olympians had to get vaccinated before they could participate. So
Yeah.
You know, and this is part of the reason why I love America, because in theory, the way that it would work out is that if you are totally all about yes, absolutely, everyone should be vaccinated. I want to live in a community where everyone's vaccinated. Guess what? There's going to be communities like that very soon. There's New York. There's parts of California. I'm sure parts of Colorado are going to do that, and that's fine. But then there's also the ones that are like, I'm not getting vaccinated ever. Then guess what? We have our communities that you can be a part of too. And that's why I like the way that it's set up by the states are what makes up the United States, right? And they have more power than a lot of other countries and areas, and because it's the way that the values and the things that you think are important are applicable there.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up though the Jehovah's Witness. I think they're like very against.
Are they?
Medicine of any kind, right? Like even blood transfusions.
Well, blood transfusion's the main thing.
Yeah.
Other medical stuff, I think they're a lot more okay with, but it's blood transfusions in particular.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
I could have my friend on that's was a Jehovah's Witness.
The inside scoop.
Well, I was just wondering because when I checked that medical box or whatever that said religious exemption, I was wondering like who's the main group that this applies to? That's like, I religiously believe that I can't get a vaccine.
Just people going to heaven, Phil.
Because you don't. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is actually pro-vaccine.
They are, yeah, it's true. I lied
Phil.
on a form when I went to college.
But I think religious exemption is a super vague thing. Like, what is religion, right?
That's
I'm
kind of how I
exempt
looked
because
at
of
it.
my personal internal beliefs.
Yeah. Well, and the way I looked at it was I knew I had all the vaccines on that list. I just
there's no way that I'm going to spend a year to try and track down all of this evidence.
yeah, but I'd had them like all over the country and world. Like
Yeah, you going to the Philippines, you got extra credit on that test.
yeah, I had like every vaccine imaginable twice.
Yeah, it should have been like all the options. Religious exemption was one, and then lived in Philippines is the last option.
Yeah.
That's
As
why-
a U.S. citizen.
That's why I always email important documents to myself,
That's a good idea.
so I can just Google it in my inbox whenever I need to
I've
get it.
started doing stuff like that, but back then I was like, oh, I'm sure my mom keeps track of this stuff.
It's in my book of remembrance, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Did you call your mom?
But
She
I
does
did
know.
call my mom,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and she found like
9
the
out of 10.
kindergarten ones or something.
My mom
Be
still
nice by
had,
two. It's up to you.
up until like I moved to LA, my mom had my birth certificate, my certificate of Indian blood, and my
Yep.
social security card.
Yep.
Because she's like, I don't trust you not to lose these. So, anyways, I keep it in a green box.
Yeah, my mom's got a piece of protective paper stuff with just like an envelope stuffed with all of that.
Yeah.
Birth certificate, social security card, all that. For me, for all the kids, all of her children.
Oh, hey, guess what?
What?
Random thing I want to tell you guys. I got one of those 23andMe tests.
Oh, yay.
And I sent it in, so I'll let you know the results to see what I am.
Japanese.
I was just gonna say, like, what if it's like you are not Navajo?
I know, that's what I'm scared.
You are Crow.
You are
What
Hopi.
the hell?
You are
Hopi.
I'm pretty sure there's like some white blood in me, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
That's actually cool.
I think I was asking about that. I think my mom's side has some Native American in it, but I can't remember.
You are a basket weaver.
But I've read about it, and a lot of people they say a lot of families like, oh yeah, my great grandpa was Native American or whatever, but then they get the test back and it's like, nope, there's no Native
I have a
American,
really
so-
funny story about that, and this is so going on the podcast. My wife's dad has always claimed that their family was part Native American, and enough to get the grants, and I think it's like
really?
1/16 or something.
like
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren enough.
So
She's like 1/100th.
What I'm saying is my wife's dad is Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
No. So their whole life, they're like, oh, there's a little bit, and I can't remember what tribe it was exactly, but there's just a little bit of Native American, right? And that's always been the story. So his sister, and they don't get along, I think mostly did the 23andMe test to prove him wrong. And I'm not joking. It came back Japanese.
Oh,
Zero Native American.
Oh, really?
Zero.
But the guy was whoever they thought was Native American was Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah.
he got reparations
That's
for
hilarious.
not even being Native American.
It's so funny because he was very into it too. Like he promoted that as a
Like had dream catchers. all
no,
over.
not like that, but just like he would talk about the family heritage and how a Native American snuck into the family tree and we all know. It's like okay, yeah, whatever. But never,
great.
no one really knew who he was, and it was a little thing that so and so had when they went out and this, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's a question about the 23andMe thing, and we were talking before we started recording about the. We were recording with the murders. You've seen how they're tying all those things together, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen anything about
23andMes?
this? Yeah, they have like a gene database. And tell me if I'm butchering this.
Yeah, that's why I won't do it.
That's why you won't do it?
Yeah.
So they've actually solved crimes like the Golden State Killer was one of them. They're like, your brother, and they interviewed his brother, and it's like, yeah, it could be my brother. They're like, holy shnikes. Where they had a blood sample from the Golden State Killer,
Yeah.
and enough people from 23andMe did their thing. They were able to narrow it down to like a specific family tree, and this guy did 23andMe, and it was this guy's brother. And they're like, well, we know it's not you, but the genes are so close that it's a
direct
relative of yours.
relation. Yeah.
And so they interviewed him. They're like, in 1967, where did you have any family members living in the Bay Area? Oh yeah, my brother Ed or whatever. Okay, good. And then in this year, this time frame, did you have it? Anyways, they found him for that, and they caught him, and he's like 80-something years old, and they arrested him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's my paranoia, though, is that they're like, my brother
They'll
or
find out
dad
what
is
you've
going to
done.
go get tested. And then they're going to come arrest me and be like, oh, some person got killed back in 1996. And we think it's you because your DNA was similar or
So
whatever.
you're afraid that your dad is going to murder someone, and you're going to
Who has murdered someone?
No, I'm afraid they're just going to make it's
A
just going to be
mistake?
wrong. Yeah, it's not 100%.
Right.
No, I
Like-
think there's more to it than that.
Well, yeah, and they can't apparently go 100% off the DNA.
But they can use it very
Right.
heavily.
Exactly. Like a jury still has to decide, yes, this DNA is relevant in this case.
Yeah.
And here's all these other factors that make it very plausible or whatever.
If I'm not mistaken, the Golden State Killer was basically like, I've been waiting for this day to come. Yep,
Yeah.
it was me. Like
I
I've
haven't-
gotten away with it for 50 years.
I haven't heard that story yet.
Oh, it's so
I'll have to
cool.
look it up.
Yeah.
It's probably
Speaking of-
one of your crime.
Crime Junkies
Podcasts.
did a good story on it.
Speaking of old people that are getting canned for old crimes, I was just reading that they're trying a Nazi who is 100 years old, I think,
What are they going to try him with?
being a Nazi, like accessory to 3,000 murders or something like that.
Accessory to genocide.
Yeah, genocide.
For knowing who Hitler was, you're pretty much a criminal.
And I don't know how I feel about that because the dude is 100. Like, and they're like, yeah, we had him evaluated. He's fit to stand trial for a couple hours a day. Like, where does the line between trying these people and like elder abuse come in? Where they're like, where this person really is like not fit, like it's kind of torture to drag them in and make them pay attention to something. Like I don't know, because I don't know the guy in the situation, but
And I think it would, in my universe, and then just based off of nothing, it would depend.
Yeah.
Was he a foot soldier that was like, yes, sir, on Nazis, or was he like an officer that was running camps and
Yeah.
and ordering? I don't know. It depends. Because I'll tell you right now, if Hitler was 100 years old, we'd probably put him on trial.
yeah, we would. There's a really interesting documentary on Netflix about one of these cases called
Trumbo.
Ivan the Terrible or something.
There it is.
But it's essentially the case, and it shows all these Jewish people that were in the camps get up and say, yes, that was him. I know it was him. And it's like, that was 70 years ago. Like, we've proven so much that like memory is so fallible, even like a couple of years in the past, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a hard time with it. Like, and the judge even said at the end, they were like, you know, how, if it's this far past, how can we expect their memories to be accurate? But then they were like, but how could we expect that they would ever forget what happened? You know, so it's like this really hard thing, and I can't even remember what happened.
Was this guy denying it? Like,
Oh yeah, he's like that wasn't me. I wasn't there. That's a fake card, and there was actually a lot of plausible evidence that it really wasn't him.
Right.
And the people that got up and testified against him, some of them more than others, you got the idea that they didn't care if he was guilty or not. They wanted somebody to suffer for what they
It
experienced.
sounds more like
someone.
a publicity thing to me.
Like a witch hunt almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But again, and I kind of understand that because they experience such terrible things. They want somebody to pay.
Right.
And I think people get like that a lot in our justice system a lot of the time.
Right.
Like, oh, my brother was murdered and it's this guy and I want him canned. And then they find out later, oh, it wasn't him. And the families just can't cope with that. You know, they're just like, no, I know it was him. I know it was him. They're like, no, it really wasn't. Like,
Right. It's like when you go to McDonald's and get a coffee and it's too hot and it burns your mouth, and so you go home and kick your dog.
Yeah.
Like, you stupid piece of shit.
Oh my God.
Is it like that?
oh, I'm going to pass out. Oh my gosh.
Kind of like that?
All right.
Not really.
All right. What's
Anyway,
the what's
sorry,
the next?
Jake.
Freaking coffee burned me.
Stupid lab.
You did this to me.
Oh, I really did almost pass out. I'm good now.
You peed your pants.
Back.
Yeah.
You're back?
I'm back.
Welcome back.
That's like doing some blow off.
Drink 2 Red Bulls and laugh at a joke.
Laugh really hard. All the blood rushes to your brain.
All right, we've got a super disappointing main topic today.
Uh-oh.
And I say disappointment because it is involving one of my favorite companies in the world.
It's the happiest place on earth.
It was, it's becoming a conglomerate so big and huge that I think the original vision of the company is kind of gone by the wayside. But so there are several Disney employees that were arrested in an undercover child predator sting in Florida.
Ooh.
So there were several Disney World employees that were caught in this sting. So
Let me guess. Goofy, he seems like a creep. Daisy, she seems like a leader.
No, it's got to be.
She has ulterior
It's got to be
motives.
Clarabelle.
Clarabelle,
Clarabelle for sure.
okay,
not Doc McStuffins.
for sure, he's the overlord. Oh, you're talking real people, not the characters.
Nope, just employees.
Okay,
Janitorial staff.
So what's the
Really?
what's the story then? I mean, no, that's a story. But
Yeah,
like,
so there was an undercover sting. There was a group of people in Florida that were scheduling to meet group of underage people who posed to be 13-ish years old, and they were gonna meet them and do whatever their imaginations. They had plans to do certain things with these young kids.
Oh, they were undercover cops?
And these quote unquote young kids were undercover
I
cops
see.
posing to be the young children, and so
Wow.
they were caught and they were arrested. 17 total people in Florida, and several of them were
and 3 of them.
Disney World employees.
3 of them were Disney employees.
I've always wondered about this too, because I don't know how these people's minds work, but I wonder if there's ever been a situation where this person who struggles with this pedophilia or whatever never gets this kind of opportunity or never even has heard about it, but then is online and somebody's like, oh yeah, come meet up with me, and it ends up being cops, and now they're canned.
Oh, shoot!
I
knew I shouldn't have done it.
yeah, I don't know how common it is that kids are stalked or whatever, but apparently it is. Kids all the time are getting
You live behind the Zion curtain.
behind the bubble.
You live in the Utah County bubble.
Yeah, but Utah County's been rife with some good.
Yeah, there have been a lot of
Good old fashioned
sting operations.
Pedophilia.
Sting
Peta
operations,
rapins.
prostitution, and
So according to
human
this
trafficking.
article by NY Daily, there's 3 Disney employees, 2 Army vets, professional poker player, an HIV positive person, and then a few other people that they just kind of
Wait, does the
out.
HIV positive person not have a job? Because you just listed out everyone's job, and then
That-
and this
that's
guy
all
has a
it said.
dis-
That's
this
his
guy
job.
has a disease.
Yeah, so it looks like they were custodians at Disney World.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
I don't know. Here's my thing. Here's what I'm thinking on this. They're tying it to Disney World. Literally, what is it? How many people? 17.
Out of 17 people,
So
they're
17
tying
divided by 3. Is that how you do percentages? I don't remember. So 17 multiplied by, anyway, it's a very small percentage of 17 people.
It's almost about 1/5 of them, which is 20%.
Right. That's
Probably
exactly the number that I
18%.
just came up with. So it's a small amount of it, but it is coincidental enough and big name enough to like, oh, this is cool.
Right.
Let's throw this out there. Like, what if like they just so happen to work at Chick-fil-A or something? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I
this
think
is-
it just sounds like they were low-level employees that were just involved in obviously a terrible thing. But like you said, just because it's so mainstreamed and such a big name, I thought when you first brought it up, I thought you were talking like the entire corporation was involved with it. So
Yeah.
I think what it
just sucks
means, though, is that-
Disney is associated with it.
yeah,
Well, the media does that though. That's my point.
Yeah.
They start digging in and they go, "Oh, 4 of them are Uber drivers." Hell yes. This is the story now. 4 Uber drivers caught in a
Uber
sex ring.
involved.
Because you know how I know it's weird, and I was teasing about it a minute ago, but he said he's listing out the different people. Tyler was one of them is known as the HIV guy. Why would you do that? Because you're thinking pedophilia, sex, HIV. Why would you put that label on this person? You could have called him Jerry. Who, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, or Billy, or Stacy,
or even listed what he did, Chick-fil-A
Not
worker.
Stacy. Yeah, exactly. What was
Yeah.
he?
It
Where
just
did he
said,
work?
it really said just HIV person.
Well,
was
they
looking it
they
up.
did. So the
Maybe they're trying to make it more scary because like had they succeeded with some
Yeah.
kids before,
There's
they would have
also
also spread some HIV.
a registered nurse was involved.
Oh,
Yeah, the Polk County Sheriff, Sheriff Deputy, or the Sheriff Grady Judd, he was the main one that was talking to this article, the person who wrote this article. He said, fortunately, our detectives were there instead of the 13-year-old child, but guess what? Had it been a curious little girl as opposed to our very experienced detectives, she would have been directly exposed to HIV. And so that was like, you know, obviously that's the shock value about that person is
Get it.
if he did something to this underage girl, she would have been, you know, punished for the rest of her life.
I understand.
I almost feel like HIV would be the least of that girl's worries. I don't know. I mean, obviously HIV would be terrible, but
Yeah,
that,
well,
that kind of thing, I feel like can seriously.
people who go through that, you know, as victims early on in their lives, oftentimes it's hard to recover from that and become quote unquote a normal person and trust people when you're experiencing stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's super sad.
It is.
It is
But
sad.
here's the thing: even if Disney's not part of it, I believe deep down in my soul that Disney is the most evil corporation on the planet.
They really are.
The Disnevil
Yeah.
Corporation.
Do you want to know why else they're evil?
Why?
Yes,
tell
Phil,
you.
I want to know.
So you guys
Please
heard
tell
about
me.
this Scarlett Johansson lawsuit?
The lawsuit, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So Scarlett Johansson was recently in the movie Black Widow, and she's suing because Disney released the movie in theaters and on Disney Plus simultaneously, but her contract states that it will be an exclusive theatrical release, and it wasn't.
And
that-
phased into Disney Plus later.
yeah, and I think she had some kickbacks
From the theater.
from the theater sales.
Right.
So she's supposed to make more money from the theater. If it plays out that way, I think she has a legitimate case. I mean, if that's
Right.
her contract, that's what she was promised, and she's not making as much money as she was supposed to. That sounds reasonable to me. Disney responded. I don't know if you heard what their response was, but they said, "quote."
Shove it, lady, in our movie.
Yeah. pretty much.
Shove it. What's your name again?
They said, quote,
shove it.
there is no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Basically, you are Wuhan. Go fuck yourself. Is that what their response was?
Yeah, I thought that was insane.
So
they
it's saying,
pretty much pulled
it's saying the contract
COVID
is
card.
irrelevant.
No, they're saying there's no merit to her lawsuit, and they also said Disney has fully complied with her contract, and furthermore, the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has received to date. So they exposed how much she's been paid, and apparently some people are saying that's how much she's been paid total for all of the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah,
done.
she makes way less than any other.
Yeah.
cast members.
So $20 million for the movie, I thought, oh, that's a good amount for a star to make. Like,
Right.
But that's everything.
What
for
character does she play? I'm sorry.
the only woman character
Yeah.
in the Avengers.
Pepper?
Black Widow.
There's Captain Marvel too.
She's the one that usually does that leg scissor headlock twist around.
Oh, she's like
throw
the
it
assassin
person.
girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She wears a black, red hair.
Assassin girl.
But it's not. It's
should've-
not Wanda.
Are you really okay? Whatever.
should've
No,
said-
I am really trying to figure it out. I'm not joking.
You
Right
should
now.
have said that in Mickey's voice.
She's not Iron Man.
Oh boy!
But I thought that was crazy. Disney pretty much pulled a COVID card. Like
Yeah.
they're pretty much like, oh, it's because I can't believe you're not serious about COVID. It's like I'm sure she's thinking,
I'm
no,
serious.
this is a legitimate legal concern.
Right.
Like we
You
had a
breached
deal.
contract.
You didn't do what was promised.
Right.
At the very least, I would think they'd go to her and say, hey, we're not expecting strong sales because of COVID. We're going to do this thing. Can we renegotiate?
Yeah.
And you'll get whatever, blah, blah, blah.
I thought she got kickback from the Premier Access because you had to pay $30 to get it.
That's what they're claiming, is that she has received kickbacks on that.
Right.
But for whatever reason, she's unhappy with it. Like,
Right.
Well, that's the reason why they delayed it. Well, I mean, yeah, COVID
Yeah.
delayed it, but they kept delaying it and delaying it.
well,
And that was part of the reason.
And I imagine they kept delaying it because the contract stated it has to be a theatrical release only.
Right.
But then they, according to what she's saying, I
Did they do
haven't seen the contract.
Did they do the same thing for like Wonder Woman and Mulan and the other ones that were released on? Did they have theatrical releases on them first?
No.
No.
I think they didn't. Even
No.
theaters were not even open.
They weren't even open. 'Cause
No.
we watched Wonder Woman on Christmas Day and we got it on HBO Max.
Yeah.
But
But neither of those, I would think, have the clout that
Oh,
Scarlett
yeah, Wonder
Johansson
Woman is
would,
DC.
I guess.
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
DC.
Back to your main point, yeah, Disney is a corporation. They're going to do what it makes sense. And I
Yeah.
think in this case, from what I read and understand, they had to release it to keep it in line with the storytelling of the entire
Right.
MCU,
Yeah.
with the the different shows coming out and things like that. Because this movie was supposed to come out before Falcon and the Winter Soldier did, and they have a
Oh.
character that connects the two. So I think they had to release it to keep
Yeah.
up with their additional movies coming
Right.
out for the rest of the year.
I can see
Yeah,
it.
but that character, you're talking about the post-credit scene. Yeah, I feel like that didn't do much.
It didn't,
So,
but I mean, I think that's the case. Though.
yeah,
They had a perfect storyline that matched with their expected releases, and it just sounds like they swept the rug out from under, which seems shady.
yeah.
Well, and
But
I agree.
I don't know.
Disney is a corporation. They're going to do what they're going to do to protect their bottom line and their future. And if they have to endure a lawsuit from Scarlett, that sucks.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't even that they miffed Scarlett.
It's that they pulled the COVID card.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're not sensitive about. They pretty much tried to
What are you, an
garner.
anti-vaxxer? Go get her.
Instead of going to court or trying to settle, they pretty much tried to win a war of public opinion. Like they tried to stack public opinion against her instead of addressing her concern, which I think is nuts. Like,
Are you kidding though? That's public relations. Like that didn't get released by the legal team. It's a PR team that releases that. that responds back.
I don't
I'm
know
sure.
I think
about
everyone
that.
that works for Disney
sure.
Corporation probably is a lawyer.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's probably true. But I love the idea of like a really, really hack PR team. Like, this is so funny. Like, Dear Mrs. Johnson. It's like Johansson,
Yeah.
right?
Or whatever your name is.
Dear Miss Johansson, thank you for your complaint. It has been well received, and we are taking a look at it.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, please call 1-800-DONALD.
Concern is being processed.
1-800-Donald. No, but apparently, so a little more about her side of the story. Her lawyers are saying what they think has gone on is Disney's decision wasn't based on COVID. It wasn't that they were expecting poor sales, because in this climate, people are pretty much going back to theaters and stuff like that. Like, some people are staying home, but largely people are out and about. But they're saying that they wanted to release it on Disney Plus because that would generate more Disney Plus subscribers,
Yeah.
which boosts their stock price. So it was purely like a selfish motivation. And then they're the ones playing the COVID card. Like, oh, you don't care about COVID. But really, it was all about money in the first place.
Well, that's Disney for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So, like you were saying, is Disney the evilest corporation in the world?
Let's put it this way. Disney owns Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, that's true.
So let that sink in.
Let that sink in.
Owns him like a slave. Like they could do anything to him.
And makes General Grievous look like a freaking wuss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
General.
Yeah.
I don't care
Grievous.
how many lightsabers he has.
I think Amazon's a pretty bad company.
Yeah, I do too.
Don't worry, Jeff Bezos isn't the richest person in the world now.
Oh, no.
Stock dropped 7%, or sales dropped 7%. I don't know, one of those. And it literally knocked him off the wealthiest person in the world
Yeah,
just from the stock drop.
Who is now?
7%.
Who is it now?
Ryan from YouTube.
It's Ryan Reynolds from America.
from that movie coming out. About Ryan Reynolds.
That is also owned by
that
Disney.
that nobody knows. Oh yeah, owned by Disney.
Yeah, but Disney owns like half of Hollywood, don't they?
They
80%.
Yeah.
own a lot of it.
A lot of it.
Like, what major film studios are still making big movies? Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Hulu.
Wait, Warner Brothers is not owned by Disney,
No,
right?
Universal.
Netflix is doing a lot.
Universal,
Amazon.
Netflix, Amazon.
But
But
I know what you mean.
Netflix isn't.
Like New Line Cinema.
That Chris Pratt movie on Amazon was actually pretty good.
Oh, was it?
He's like the time traveling one.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was cool. But anyways, yeah.
Back to
the
the Future?
Tomorrow War or whatever.
Yeah, Tomorrow War.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't good.
it was good.
It looked like it might be good, but I was like, I'd have to log into Amazon, and I hate that company.
Dang it.
I'd have to
Caught me there.
Was Black Widow good then? I haven't seen it.
I liked it.
It was solid.
I heard it got
was
good reviews.
It was better than Captain Marvel,
I hated
but
that one.
not as good, I feel like, as it should have been. I feel like they could have made a really good Black Widow movie, like an espionage spy movie.
Yeah.
And really dive into like the they tried to go this like not Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah,
Same
I
thing.
think they had to
Angle.
play it safe. I think I agree. It was good, but it could have been better.
Yeah.
I definitely think it could have been more on the Jason Bourne
Yeah.
Bond series. But I think they had to play it safe just because it's Marvel and
Yeah, maybe.
family oriented. But it was good. You should see it.
Yeah, it
yeah,
was-
all things Marvel are pretty appropriate for like all age groups.
Yeah.
That's a question because I'm trying to think of anything that's not. Everything
yeah,
that
and I
I've
was
seen
just
is.
watching one, and I was like, "This has probably got to be the." I feel like it was Iron Man 2 or something like that. That had like the
Right.
girls dancing on stage. I was like, "Is there like
is the
bikini
worst.
like
Yeah.
cheerleaders?" Like I was like,
That was before Disney took over MCU.
I think that
right?
was actually their first MCU movie.
Iron Man 2?
was
Oh,
Iron Man 2. Yeah,
interesting.
So they started off that way, but then you go to like
When Marvel
well,
Studios, sorry. Iron Man was Marvel Studios owned by Disney at that time.
No, Iron Man was just Marvel Studios. Iron Man 2 was Disney's first.
Acquisition when they
Yeah.
when they merged or whatever.
That was the first movie they owned when it was released. I don't know
I didn't
how
know
much of the production they had a hand in, but
2009. Disney bought MCU.
yeah. So, But then I go back to like, what's worse, a bunch of girls dancing on stage in a bikini, or like a father throwing his daughter off a cliff to her death and like looking at her green blood on the ground?
What's that? Oh, yeah.
And what was that? Infinity War. So,
Affinity.
yeah.
Iron Man 2 was released a year later.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
But I know I agree. I think Disney is a corporation, but I still love it.
and did
Yeah.
they kind of ruin Star Wars? Like, not ruin it, but did they just like, what's the word?
I think they're overdoing
Botched it.
They're
Kind of
overdoing
botched it.
Yeah.
They're definitely like kicked it in high gear for sure when
I
they
don't-
bought
and
it.
I don't
It's
like that.
Oh, we're going to make all these side stories. But
Yeah.
I think it's incredibly consistent the way that Disney did it. They have a way of tying things together. Like the Marvel Universe, if you could like really keep on tabs with all of the different stories and how they're related, you got to be a huge fan.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done
Jake-
a good job at that.
Here's the problem. We're trying to convince people how bad they are, and you're just like, they're so
I
awesome.
love Disney.
They botched I think they botched the last 3 films, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
The Star Wars?
The Star Wars ones.
I-
I think their side stories is definitely more their stronger content.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian,
Right.
the Rebels.
I loved the Mandalorian.
Even the Bad Batch that's out now. It's still pretty good. So
Yeah.
the Clone Wars was awesome. So,
Mandalorian's the best thing I think that's come out of the Star Wars universe, not just
Yeah.
Disney.
See, and I was talking to the Holy Spirit about this the other day. And
The one on the show or the real one?
the one on the show.
Our friend.
Yeah.
The lowercase Holy Spirit.
Lowercase Holy Spirit. And
I love him.
he and we agreed that like if you compare Star Wars and the MCU I feel like has done a way better job like of just like a overarching arc, you know, like tying everything together.
Yeah.
Which Star Wars totally failed on. Like
Right.
they had all these movies and everyone complained about the prequels like, but I feel like what the MCU did was they made their last 2 movies so good that when you go back and watch the mediocre movies, they're like way better now.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had a clear direction.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige had this whole. It's Kevin Feige, right? The
he's
MCU
the
guy.
executive
Yeah,
producer.
however you
Yeah.
pronounce it, yeah.
He has this whole direction of where he wanted all the movies to go, and I think that's what did it with
Yeah.
the Star Wars stuff. Lucas started it with
Yeah.
his vision, and then they had to go back and like essentially backtrack all the different stories.
Yeah.
So if you watch any of the side TV shows for Star Wars, they start like connecting it back and forth,
Yeah.
and weaving it better. But that's my opinion.
Like an example from the MCU, I'll look back at like I'll watch the original Avengers, and there's this scene where Thor is like arguing with Loki, and Loki's like, somebody gave me the power, and he's like, who showed you this power? Who gave it to you? And now you're like, back then it was like, this is stupid, and now you're like, it was Thanos. Oh my gosh. He went to Thanos, who is the devil, and like sold his soul to him, and I'm freaked out right now. Like, but with Star Wars, it's like you go back and you look at Palpatine and you're like, I don't even care that you're going to have a granddaughter one day that will kill you. Like, that was kind of weird and lame. Like,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't know.
I have a question. Most underrated MCU movie? Go. Phil.
Underrated.
Yeah.
What was my favorite on this? So we just all of them this summer and just finished the last one last week.
We started in January and it finished in like April.
Yeah. And
Do you have Disney Plus?
yeah,
Oh.
of course.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting
I don't
Disney.
support the most evil corporation on earth. But what was
Or
it?
anyone underrated, the most underrated MCU.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is for me,
Yeah,
Ant-Man.
and the
for
Wasp.
me.
Yeah, we really
I
liked
like-
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man is so good.
Yeah, I think so.
I love-
I agree with that.
I
Who's the
love
actor?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
is
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
He's my favorite.
I fell in love with him on Friends, and
Yeah.
after that, I don't like that crude movie humor with like Will Ferrell, like Step Brothers stuff. I don't.
Right.
But when Paul Rudd's in it, it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, there's one called Best Friends, I think.
Yep.
Oh my god, that is the funny, such a funny
Best
movie.
Man or something like that. Yeah, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh, Jake, do you have one that?
I can't think. Iron Man, the original Iron Man came to mind.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I watched that again when I went through the whole universe, and it was so. I was like, I don't remember Iron Man being this good, and it's an older movie.
Yeah. And I even thought when I first saw Iron Man 2, I didn't like it, but this rewatch, I liked it a lot more.
So weird, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. But I really do think a lot of it has to do with like, you know what's coming, and they just ended everything so good and tied
Right.
everything together. You watch that
Who
old
did?
stuff.
You mean Disney? The Disney Corporation?
I can't say that, Jake,
You're saying
because they're the devil.
Mickey Mouse
So,
did it?
but I've also wondered, because you see they've done so bad with Star Wars and so good with the MCU, I wonder if Disney is just pretty much, they come in to be like, are we going to make money? Yes. Okay. They come into Star Wars, they're making these movies. They're like, are we going to make money on this? Yes. Okay. They go into MCU, you know, or Marvel. Are we going to make money on this? Yeah. So the difference is actually really Marvel versus Lucasfilm and how horribly Lucasfilm has been managed versus
I think it's just
Marvel.
you're comparing two genres. Like I think you're comparing apples and oranges. Marvel is the comic book world, and I think that's very much popular with everybody, like any person. You look at Star Wars, very much sci-fi, right? So I think that is the difference.
Yeah,
Why
everyone
we-
except pedophiles.
Oh yeah. Kind of like Lord of the Rings. Like there's only a type of people that really like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Nerd ass wusses.
So remember when there was
Dungeons and Dragons.
remember when there were those things in
Sorry.
so go ahead. You were more excited about your thing than mine. So
When we're talking about all this nostalgic stuff, I watched He-Man, the Revelation on Netflix, the
New
cartoon.
one? Yeah.
It's pretty good. Sorry.
Is it?
Anyways,
I
I don't know why that came to my mind.
I tried to start it and I didn't get into it, but I guess I wasn't as into He-Man.
They
but
have the amazing voice actors. Mark Hamill's in it.
yeah, I did see that.
Lena from Game of Thrones is in it. It's really awesome.
Yeah. But I
A
was
new He-Man? It's like it's
Yeah.
another series?
Huh.
It's like an 8-episode cartoon on Netflix.
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. Masters of the Universe.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah,
That's
so
nostalgia. That's throwback.
Disney
right
is
there.
terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say
Stop
something
it.
about them being terrible.
No, I
forgot.
read this whole paper in college about how
Amazing there.
Disney perpetrates a really like a broken family. You look at some of the original films. No mothers were involved. It was just girls without
Yeah.
mothers, and the only way that they got their happy ending was marrying a guy and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So
And like the
Yeah.
parental death is like so common, like either in the movie or they're raised.
The backstory.
With, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
the
I
not so
think-
wonderful world of Disney.
When it comes to Disney Kids is like the armpit of Disney. Like the
armpit.
the people that make the Disney Kids show.
Oh, on, like, cable?
They're all about kids who are basically like they're the funny ones, the sharp ones, the witty ones, and the dads are always dirtbags in every single show.
Oh, really?
They're always deadbeat dirtbags that know nothing. They're
Like what
kids tell
show?
them what all of them.
Dads are dirtbags.
I don't know any of the names of any of the
I
shows.
want to
but
shout
I've
out
heard-
Goofy from a Goofy movie. Single father raising
Yeah.
a terrible kid.
Jake, what do you
Come
think
on.
of that?
Yeah, I felt for that father when
I'm
I
trying to think of
when I
Okay,
started
what
Goofy
about-
movie.
Oh, Goofy movie. Okay, the animated one.
What about Little Mermaid? Huh?
King
about it?
Triton.
Is her dad a douchebag?
Daddy.
No, Disney Kids. Like the television show, the series of live, like sitcoms. Kids-based
Carly?
sitcoms.
Which ones are you talking about?
Like those. I don't know the names of any of them, but my kids have watched them, and I'm
Oh.
like, turn that
So
off.
like Disney Channel
Yeah.
so
TV
like
shows. Yeah, okay.
Seinfeld,
the sitcoms.
The sitcoms.
Seinfeld, Simpsons. I mean,
Those
they
are
own them all.
ABC,
They own all those,
who-
right?
Those are ABC, who Disney just happens to own.
Friends.
Homer is a dirtbag.
I'll take your word for it.
Yep,
I don't
I
really
trust
watch
you.
Disney
Chandler's
Channel.
dad is dumb.
You want to know what my myth is with what's it called? The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that series that they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, really, really didn't like how they went off.
Really?
Yeah,
Tell us how you really feel. Phil.
went off on this weird tangent about how he's black
Really?
and went through this whole thing, and
Really?
I felt really disappointed.
Really?
Because it was almost like a black actor can't play Captain America unless we talk about him being black.
Almost like
a lot.
it was an
I
appropriation.
am not up for a race discussion right now.
No?
So let's sidestep this. I thought it was appropriate, but we'll take it at that.
Okay. Well, I'll just leave it at that. That I was bummed. I feel like it's the same thing with the Scarlett Johansson thing, that it's like we're trying to boost profits by like playing to this certain crowd that'll be like really into
You got to
these.
stop. You got to stop. You just need to stop right now.
Earlier when you said I'm going to stop, that's what I thought you were doing.
All right.
Okay. Really?
But
Really?
But that for me is another
Really?
reason they're the devil.
Switching Disney to Disney News, they now have their annual passes back. They have a new program
What
they're
is
called
it?
Magic Key passes. So you can get like the Dream Key, the Magic Key, and they're basically just the annual passes revamped
to Disneyland,
to Disneyland.
like those wristband things. That
and
you-
it costs $1,300.
So the largest one is I think 1,300.
Holy shit.
And it's an annual pass to
and it's an
Disneyland
annual pass at Disneyland.
for a
the
single
one park?
person.
The catch is you still have to reserve because you can't just willy nilly.
You can't just
'Cause that's
show
what
up?
That's what I did. I had an annual pass, and I would like wake up on a Saturday and just be like, I'm gonna go to Disneyland today. But now you have to like go into the app and reserve it and all that type of stuff.
in it,
So-
how long in advance?
Just depends probably to when they fill
Yeah,
up.
it just depends. It just depends on capacity. But you can have up to like 3 days, 5 days, 6 days, depending on the pass you get. So
Question: do the wristbands have the COVID vaccine in them?
Yes.
they don't do the wristbands at Disneyland, just at
Oh,
Disney
really?
World. Yeah,
Well,
So Disney World's the corrupt one because they've got pedophiles that work there.
yeah, that's what I heard.
2 custodians.
But Disney,
20% of them.
but Disneyland is the greatest
It is the greatest.
It is.
in the world.
Disney's a terrible corporation.
No, I would never
Phil,
go.
I know you don't like people. Like I'm surprised that you let us come to your house.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Here's a question. Has Disney started putting chips in people yet for their season passes? Because that's when I'm going to sign up.
Yeah, they just like
Yeah, it's called the COVID vaccine.
Did you know you can get a national parks pass to every national park in the country for $80?
really.
Yeah,
That's awesome, Phil.
and they're almost as crowded as Disneyland now.
Does it have the Matterhorn?
Yeah,
Space Mountain.
The
Does it have
actual Matterhorn
churros?
is in
Does it
Glacier
have-
National Park.
Does it has Fantasmic?
Yeah, and it has Star Wars cave
Does it
in
have the Incredicoaster?
in the Tetons, the
I'm gonna-
secret cave where the sacred lightsaber is hidden.
I'm going to change this into a Disneyland story. You ready?
Okay.
Jake
Should we
was
dim the
with me.
lights? Sit on the floor.
Jake was with me. And I've only ever shared this story when Jake's not around. So I'm kind of excited to tell it right now. So when you go to, you were talking about like churros and food and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's really expensive to eat at Disneyland, as you guys know.
Yeah.
So me and Jake, we're there with our girlfriends in high school, right? Or just out of high school. Yeah.
When was okay?
And
Was it Brittany and Cammy?
Yeah. Yeah, we went to Disneyland with them. Stayed with Cammy's parents.
Yeah. It
Sorry,
was-
just hearing those names just makes me
so
laugh.
we met
Brings me
Brittany and
back.
Cammy's senior year, summer of senior year, after senior year of high school.
Yeah. Jake and I have been through a lot together. So we drove down there.
After junior year.
And the girls went off somewhere in Disneyland and we were hanging out. And we're like, we're so hungry. And we're like, we go to buy a hot dog or something. We're like, $9? What the hell? Like, did not compute. So we're sitting there in a food court. And
I'm
this
afraid
family.
I know where this is going.
This family of like 6 people with like 5 kids and
Oh my
it's
God.
4 kids and the parents get up and leave, and all their food's sitting there. And
And you ate it.
Jake and I went over to
Oh
it
my
and
gosh.
we ate their
Yes.
food.
Best ever.
And I think that cost us $0.
How much did we save though, Jeff?
At least 20
What,
something.
what did
bucks.
your girlfriends
40
do?
at least.
Did
They
they
weren't
also?
Did they
around.
know? Did
They
you
weren't
tell
Oh,
them?
you were off by yourselves,
Yeah,
and
they
their
were.
No, I
girlfriends
think
were off.
I think when we finally met up with them, they're like, "You guys hungry?" We're like, "Nope,
No, we're good.
we're fine. We ate.
we
found-
ate out of the garbage
We had
can.
we had some huge taco salads."
I still remember there was an unopened applesauce. One of these kids just left their $7 applesauce sitting
Right,
there.
right.
Yeah, I think there's
Wow.
a piece or two of fried chicken with 0 bites out of it.
Oh my gosh!
Maybe that's where my connoisseurism of fried chicken started.
Anyway,
half-eaten
Jake,
piece of fried chicken.
I would make
Disneyland.
fun of you guys, but I literally did that when I worked at JCW's.
When you were-
I feel so much shame for this, but like somebody left a complete unopened, unwrapped burger, and I was working, and like I grabbed it and threw the rest in the garbage and went in the bathroom and ate it
Oh my gosh.
so that my manager wouldn't see me.
I did that.
Was
I
it
worked
Brian?
at
Probably.
I worked at a restaurant in in my early 20s, and like fries, just like fries that I would
Yeah.
just like take back. I would have a couple
Yeah.
here and there, and then on the dinner rush, if they didn't eat their roll, I would eat the roll.
Yeah.
It's called sampling.
Yeah, that's funny.
Makes you wonder how
rap-
much that goes on.
Rappers do it with other people's art. Why can't?
Why can't we do that with their food? I'm just gonna sample
That's
this.
a good.
right?
Yeah.
With other people's art. So just eat other people's food. I actually can't wrap my head around that statement and can't see whether or not that makes sense or not. like they're just so different concepts. Or are they?
We're gonna sample this burger.
Yeah.
That's a good Disneyland story.
That was
But that's not the only time we've done that. We would do it at restaurants all the time.
Oh, I don't remember.
Here's
that.
a good Disneyland story.
What?
Here's a good Disneyland story.
Okay, go.
You go to Disneyland, you pay $900, you wait in a line all day long to ride a mediocre ride, and then it's time to close.
I got escorted out of Disneyland.
Did ya?
One time, yeah,
With an escort?
with the security people.
Was he
a
hot?
13-year-old?
Oh,
So one of the things that my friends and I used to do is we go to Disneyland and we take like a hydro flask of vodka or some sort of alcohol.
that's weird.
I was driving, so I didn't really drink that much. But so it was my friend and his friend. So his friend got like super shit faced. Like he's like stumbling around. So anyways, the security guy comes up to us and he's like, "Hey, have you guys been drinking?" And I go, "Yeah, we had a few back in California Adventure." He's like, "Oh, well, your friend here looks a little inebriated." My other friend just ran off. he just like
He fell in the pond.
We got a runner.
He fell in the moat around the castle.
And I was like, I don't know this guy. Like, he's a friend of the friend, and the friend ran off. Like, what do you want me to do? I was like, I don't want my pass revoked. I don't. You tell me what to do. So he's like, well, we'll just escort you guys out. I go, okay. So we're walking. The drunk guy starts running away. And so they have to chase him down. And then I have just this security guy standing behind me, walking me out. It was fun.
So you were
That is
you were
fun.
the nice, compliant one. And
Where's
those idiot
Goofy?
friends were.
So in order for that, so they revoked his pass and they took down my name. My pass was never revoked. But in order for the guy to come back, he had to wait a year. And then he had to write a letter to Mickey apologizing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Literally to Mickey.
He literally had to write a letter to Mickey saying, "I'm sorry for whatever, the
Oh
case
my
was."
gosh,
I
they
love that.
are the devil.
Don't you wish your story was like eating other kids' food right now
Yeah.
instead of getting escorted out? Like
Instead,
an
what you
alcoholic?
did was so bad. You had to write a letter to Mickey apologizing.
I didn't have to do it.
You got put on.
I was fine.
You got put on the goofy list.
So here's the real
Oh my
question.
gosh.
If-
I was so terrified that they were going to like revoke my pass. I was like, I don't want to.
so
Did your buddy have an annual pass?
Yeah. And he left. I had no idea where he went. And so,
Still to this day.
yeah, I
Did they
like,
find him in American Fort Canyon?
oh,
Full circle.
too soon.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So here's
it's
the
pretty
real
soon.
question. Walt Disney comes back to life today. What does he think?
Oh, he'd be pissed.
Oh, he'd
I'll
be-
tell you that right now.
You think
My
so?
God. Yeah.
He'd be the richest
About-
person in the world.
About what specifically?
the creation and where it's gone.
Yeah.
The fact that people are drinking alcohol in his park.
secretly.
And they're pedophiles.
and
They
the-
hired pedophiles to work at Disney World.
And the recourse is childish letters to a
To a fictional
imaginary
character.
Yeah, we were one time with a group of friends, and someone opened up the flask and drank it, and then when someone goes, "It smells like vodka." Why does the Pirates of the Caribbean smell like vodka?
Because it's pirates.
I was like, "Ooh, I don't
Shouldn't
know."
it smell like rum?
Yo.
Yeah, I went to a Mexican restaurant with the Holy Spirit, and he was like, "Man, it smells like tequila in here, like the worst tequila, like the raunchiest stuff. Like that's what it smells like right
He's
now."
very particular about his alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit loves
Holy
his
Spirit.
He is very particular about his alcohol.
He really is. So just today, Apple announced that this ties into our pedophile talking, whatever. Apple is going to be actively
Oh, yeah.
searching
Photos.
Apple Photos, like Apple iCloud. That's what it is.
iCloud.
Yeah.
iCloud Photos for pedophilic content.
Pedophilia.
Pedophological?
child sex,
Pedophological?
whatever that thing is, they're searching for child pornography. There it is.
Right.
So,
Oh my God, Phil.
That's the one. Bad pictures.
At least he didn't have to spell it.
so they're going to be actively searching for child pornography, and that's another one where I was like, okay, well, I like that idea, but at the same time, what does that mean in general about
What is
we're
the
doing?
reason? Did they
Right.
give a reason for it?
I don't know if I got into what the reason was. I assumed to cut down on child pornography, but also in theory, it made sense to me because iCloud is just you're renting Apple's servers, right?
Right.
So in theory, if you put child pornography on there, it's Apple now owns
Right.
child pornography, kind of. So I get the motivation behind not wanting it on there.
Well, I
Right.
mean, think of it this way, like a physical sense. You go put, illegal paraphernalia, whatever you want, into a storage unit.
Right.
And then the storage unit is like, we're going to go through your stuff and try to find
Yeah.
this thing.
We're
So
gonna
it's good-
we're gonna have drug sniffing dogs
Right.
come by.
Yeah,
or
Blue
whatever.
Ribbon Storage is not going to be in trouble for something that you put in there.
Well,
Yeah.
in light of the fact that sexting is also apparently like, the same thing as child pornography. In unrelated news, Trent just went and bought an Android phone. So,
Oh, this just in.
Trent just texted me from his new number and it says on my Android device.
Like 1 hour after the news release.
No,
I was like, oh my gosh.
but he's going to.
Oh, we love
seriously.
you, Trent.
No, I feel the same way. I think it's a good thing, but at the same time, it's like not a good thing. I get it.
Yeah, Apple. That's what kind of got me. Is Apple's supposed to be big on privacy? There was that famous story a couple of years ago where the FBI was suing them because they're like, we can't break into anyone's iPhones. We've got all these terrorists and drug dealers. We need to get into their phones. And Apple was like, no, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But now they're kind of saying, yes, we are going to search for child porn. But is that kind of the slippery slope or opening the door to more?
Yeah.
We're watching you.
I don't see, and I don't like that when it's like the big, like there's these things where it's like, if I speak out against it now, all of a sudden it's like, oh, what do you mean? Like you want people to just have child porn on their phones? It's like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I also don't want people just being able to randomly search through my phone.
Well, and that's the next question is what's actually happening? Are people looking through all of our stuff to find child porn? Or is some algorithm that they've programmed to identify child porn going to be looking through your photos and say, that looks like child porn? And even if it's not, somebody's going to end up looking at it. It could be some private photo that you stored of something totally unchild porn related, but
Right.
might be equally sensitive to you or,
Like
something.
your eggplant like harvest.
Yeah, your eggplant harvest, your
Peach harvest.
This would be a good question for Mike as far as like,
Oh yeah, we should have him on.
because
Oh, yeah.
Mike's a digital forensics expert,
he is and has
been doing it for many years.
yeah
And
Before children were even invented.
yeah
Mike-
or
But you
porn.
pissed him off.
Mike has single-handedly assisted law enforcement in finding pedophiles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With his his expertise, but he would know whether these are algorithms or actual people. Like that's the first thing that you said that I thought when you said Apple's now doing this was who's looking at these images.
yeah.
Right.
I'm just hoping we're saying enough wrong information about this subject that Mike's like,
Right.
ooh, and he's going to come on next week and correct us.
Well, if you didn't piss him off so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike's going to come on
You're
and be like,
welcome.
that was from The Onion. Stop.
That was from the
Yeah.
Onion.
The Onion. What does that mean?
Onion
It's
News
like
Network.
a fake news network. It's really funny. Actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it funny?
Yeah. Makes you cry like an onion.
They take major topics in the news and make it sound like it's way, way, way like crazy. They just inject it with comedy.
It's like the original fake news before the fake news term was even around.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Well, did we prove that Disney is the worst?
Yeah.
Nope, we didn't.
No, we did, but we all support it, so we are also the worst.
We're all paying for it every month.
When it comes down to it, every company is the worst.
Yeah.
Right.
Large companies, I think, can be. And in general...
You're like Walmart, Amazon,
Except
Disney.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Oh, those canes.
And also freeze-dried meals. Those companies are
Oh,
great.
yeah. Peak refuel. don't regret your next freeze-dried meal.
Peak refuel.
We're not Disney.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that. That is so funny.
Peak refuel. Try to find child porn on our devices.
I think you're going to have to edit that one out.
Oh, my gosh.
Peak refuel. We're not pedophiles. Or Disney. I will personally probably financially support Disney until the day I die, and probably thereafter.
No matter what, like no matter like Johnny Ives, is that the Disney dude right now? Who's in charge of Disney?
Johnny
Mickey
Ives.
Mouse.
Is it Johnny Ives?
I don't know
Or
who
was
that
he
is.
the one that quit right after their top of the game?
I think
I
Scarlett
thought Mickey
Johansson's
Mouse
on the
was in
board.
charge of it.
Oh yeah, it is Mickey Mouse.
No, I'm the same with Jake. I think they're just a corporation, but I fucking love Disney. So
Yeah. Well,
Disney.
But what would happen? Like, if you found out something about Disney, what would that thing be where you're like, I'm out?
What do you mean?
Never going to pay anything for any Disney ever again.
I would probably find a way to humanize it and say, well, that's just the one guy. He's bad. Obviously, they let him go.
So it comes out that Walt Disney and every CEO since is like pedophile. 100%. All the top 1,000 employees are all in on whatever super red shoe gang the QAnon is like accusing. That comes out as like hard fact. There are like tons of people go in prison.
So the Catholic Church.
And they show all these like scenes in all the Disney movies since the beginning of time.
We get it. It's terrible.
I've seen Little Mermaid, Lion King.
So
get it.
Those didn't faze me.
You find out that would you say no more Disney for me, or would you be like, I just don't look at it that way?
Out of all 1,000 of them, there's only like 20 that are still alive running the company. So it's not that bad.
They're good people.
well, what is it going to take for you to get vaccinated?
Oh.
To get the vaccine?
I think if the FDA approves it, I'm cool with it.
I think that certain clientele will make you get it.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
That could be true. I think I just haven't like run into a situation where I've had to get it. And I am like,
God knows he doesn't go to the gym.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not going to the bars.
He's like, I go outside my house maybe once.
He's not going to New York.
a week.
Yeah. No, I haven't been in a situation professionally where it's ever been an issue. But I'm also like, this is still an experimental, brand new thing. I'm cool with waiting. Like, I don't find the urgency. So if there was some urgency at all in any way, I'd get it. But
What about like
What about the leader of your church saying you should get it?
he did say that. But
so nope.
did he?
Not
Yeah,
that one.
He didn't say that
oh,
we
he
should.
didn't. He didn't say you
He
should.
just said the church supports it, and he got it.
Oh yeah. So,
Supports vaccinations.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
and I'm for vaccinations. And this one, but this one hasn't yet. Am I wrong in saying the
No, you're
FDA
right.
has not
You're right.
approved this? It's like an emergency thing. Like people might die, get this vaccine.
You're right.
So Disney.
Would your if Disney came out
What
and
if
said
Disney
everyone is
said-
vaccinated?
What if Disney comes out and says you can't log into Disney Plus without typing in the code to your vaccine card? Would you get it, Jake?
I'd get a fake vaccine card.
You can't.
he would use mine.
They have special codes straight from Disney. All the doctors in the universe.
It'll be like HBO Plus. I just use someone else's login.
Yeah. Would you do
I
it?
would do that.
You would.
I would use the login of someone else. who
No,
has-
there's no way to fake this. You have to get a vaccine to keep Disney Plus.
Can you just say yes so we can end the podcast?
yes to what's yes
Jake,
being what?
if you
I would cancel Disney in my life, or I would get the vaccine.
yeah, which one?
Which one would I do?
I'm asking you. If
You tell me. Which one would
if
I
it
do?
came down to you have to get the vaccine or you have to never watch Disney Plus again, which one do you choose? the COVID-19 vaccine right now, as it is unapproved by the FDA, only for emergency use.
We ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
Could I
Answer.
still go to Disneyland?
No. There's no more Disney in your
Nope.
life. All your DVDs and Blu-rays have
Vanish.
a stupid thing that pops up because your Blu-ray player is connected to the internet. And you're like, and it's like, sorry, this Blu-ray player needs to be updated and needs a vaccine code.
Gosh.
You can't even Google watch Sound of the Songs of the South.
Oh, jeez. Would Disney still take my money?
No.
If I sent
No.
them cash in the mail, will they still take
They'll
it?
take money, but they just won't give you any service in return or product. Or a product that claims to be something you bought, but really they still own it and can take it back at any time.
Could I watch?
No. Do you not get it? No Disney.
Could I
unless
watch
vaccine.
Iron Man?
No.
From someone else's window.
Nope.
While they're watching.
Jake,
Nope.
which
In their-
is it? The
in their-
vaccine or
Quit
Disney?
sidestepping this question.
What about you, Jeff?
I would get the vaccine. 100%.
So there you go. Can we safely say that Disney could solve this pandemic, but is choosing not to because they're the evilest corporation in the world?
Because they own Emperor Palpatine.
That's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
And Jake's
You don't have
never.
to
You're
answer
not
the
going to
question.
answer.
I'm not going to answer.
You don't have
Good.
to answer.
I answered for you.
refuse to answer.
Vaccine, 100%.
Jake refuses.
I would
answer the
I would get
question.
the vaccine again. So
You would get it again.
yeah. Nice. Anyways, good night.
Thanks.
Tyler's going to end it now, Jake.
We have not proven that Disney is the most evil corporation in the world, even though they may or may not be associated with some very bad people.
And even though they could single-handedly end COVID, we've discovered, but
Yeah.
choose not to.
But they choose not to because they support our right to choose,
Because Emperor Palpatine's on the board.
which is God's greatest gift to man is his agency.
And the Matterhorn.
Thanks for riding the ride.
Sedimentados, por favor.
This has been American Fork Podcast.
Good night.
Thank God.
Good night.
Love you.
Bye.
Disney, did you build up an army? Did you win everything in IP? So it must be hard to let go when Black Widow says you owe her some money. Disney, isn't it kind of grand that you made up yourself a world and land? And a $15 hamburger that might be served by a sex trafficker.